What's up, creators? It's your boy Mad Mike. On today's episode, we're just gonna do a walk and talk on the El-Cuda project. If you're new to the channel, behind me here is a 1976 Chevy El-Camino mounted onto a 2011 Chevy Silverado with 1970 Dodge Charger rear quarter panels. We're gonna pull the car out. It's running, it's driving. It's got a 4.8 liter LS. Let's pull it out of the carport and I'll give you guys a walk and talk tour of the El-Cuda build. There you have it. Runs, it drives. It's built on a 2011 Chevy Silverado. It's a one-owner truck. I cut the cab off. I got rid of the box. I cut up a 76 El-Camino and I mounted the body of the 76 El-Camino onto the chassis. And then I put a 1970 Plymouth Cuda front end on it because that's the most badass front end ever made. 1970 Dodge Charger quarter panels. So let's do a little walk around of it. I'll show you where I'm at with the build and what we got left to do, and I'm gonna throw out some ideas of what I want to do to the car and get your guys' opinion on it. Leave a comment below, let me know what you think of the ideas I have, and I'll take that into consideration and we'll see if I do it or not. Well, bam, the El-Cuda. All right, so it's obviously running and driving because I cut the cab off of the car, but I left the firewall, the floor, and everything in the motor, the 4.8 liter LS, the steering column, all the electronics have been disconnected and just kind of wrapping around the dash right now. So it's still the factory Chevy Silverado drivetrain in it. So it's a moving project, which is great because I can move the project around. If I need to bring it from the big work bay area over into the Mad Lab, which we've recently painted the shop and the house. So that was a lot of work, but it looks way better now. So it's nice having a rolling, running, driving project car. It's always better than trying to push it around, especially in the next couple of months. It's gonna start snowing here. So regardless, it's rolling around, it's running, it's driving. There's that. In the last video, you guys saw that I made a little gantry crane with a chain hoist, and I was able to lower the body onto the chassis, which is the El-Camino part right here, GMC Sprint, same thing. I've not been filming this on camera, but I've just been doing a ton of cutting. There's a lot of cutting you need to do. So in the door frame area, I've been removing more and more and more until I can get it as far forward as I want, kind of keeping a rough wheelbase of how I want it to be. But the big thing is I want to get the steering wheel inside of the windshield area so I can have a bit of a dash behind it. We've accomplished that. I've got the steering wheel in, and I've got about probably, let's go to the other side. It's a lot of fun working on the car, but doing multiple cuts, lifting it up and down can get kind of tiring at times, but we're getting somewhere. I'm starting to see the progress, and that's why I wanted to lower the body down onto the chassis and drive it out in the open to just get kind of some motivation back. So the steering column, as you can see, focus, the steering column is inside of the car, and I got about a full hand's width before I hit the glass. So there's tons of room for your hand when you're steering it and whatnot. The other big thing was the shift lever. Before it was hitting the window, but now I got over probably 4 inches, 5 inches there. I can also lower the column down a little bit, which I've already done with some spacers, and I could change out the steering wheel and extend it if need be. But with a chair in here right now, this is a Ferrari seat out of one of the kit cars I'm building. I've got it in there right now, and it's the perfect seating arrangement. I can reach the pedals, the steering wheel, no problem. We got lots of room behind us to make a little cubby back there. We're probably gonna do a bench seat inside the El-cuda. So we'll just have a low profile bench seat going all the way across. Be kind of cool. All right, so what else? Steering wheel, rims and tires. I got some bigger tires going on it, some 35s I think. Coming back, and let's talk about making the body fit in this area here. So I had to cut out the floor of the El-Camino, and I've got the factory floor inside here, the Chevy Silverado. So I'm mating the 76 El-Camino with the 2011 Silverado, and we got lots of good metal down here and on the body across here to weld that in and build some floor pans kind of in this back section here. But yeah, all the wiring we're gonna have to tuck away somewhere and make it all neat and tidy. Most of it, I would say like 70 to 80% of this wiring, especially with the yellow plugs, it's all airbag stuff. So I'm getting rid of all the airbags, so hopefully I can get rid of all that wiring at the same time. It's sitting on body mounts on the back of the frame, which is perfect. Gas tank is underneath here, so what I want to do is lift the gas neck up, extend it, and then bring it back here, and I can get a 1968 or 70 Charger flip gas cap. I think that'd be kind of cool on the back there. So it's going to be a long tube going into the gas tank, but I think we can make it happen. Talking about the rear quarter panels, these are 1970 Dodge Charger quarter panels that were cut off of a car at the shop I work at, and I'm going to try to repurpose them. They got a lot of punky rusty metal on the bottom, so I can make a patch panel for that. We'll find out how nice we want this car to be. It might be kind of Mad Max Ratty looking, or we might make it a really finished build. We got two ways to go there. These quarter panels are gonna look rad on it. I know a lot of you might be thinking otherwise, but another good reason for using these quarter panels is I can cut my wheel arch and move it back to mate up with the wheelbase of the Silverado. You can see where the El-Camino body hits for the wheelbase. It's over here. This is about 10 inches backwards, so that'll be a benefit to using these quarter panels. The other thing is I'm going to stand them off probably about, you can see it better on the other side. I'm going to stand the quarter panels off about 4 inches just to give it a wide body look. As you can see there, we're going to leave it like that. We'll probably put in some cool mesh, or I'll CNC cut out some kind of a custom grill that goes in here. So we're going to wide body the El-Camino so that it mates up with the outside of the tires better too. And when the door of the El-Camino shuts here, you'll have this really cool air scoop or like air duct. So that's going to be rad. The other thing we're going to do is we're going to cut off this section here. We're going to slide it forward, and we're going to weld it on to the El-Camino body. So that body piece there is going to shift down this way. This side's a lot worse. It's been dinged up and covered in Bondo way back in like the 70s or 80s probably. So wheelbase, 70 Charger quarter panels. This is kind of cool. You can still see the Charger emblem where it would have gone right there. That's rad. I should put Charger emblems back onto it, actually, is what I should do. Alright, I'm going to put a new battery in the camera, and then we'll go around to the front, and I'll tell you what I'm thinking for the front end. Alright, we got a new battery in the camera. We're in the Mad Lab. I hung up a bunch of my old snowboards. I used to have a snowboard company, so I've got a bunch of the Mad snowboards down there. Let's go check some of them out, actually. Distracted right now. So we got some cool Mad snowboards hanging from the rafters. And then these are a bunch of boards that I just kind of grew up with, and Pryor snowboards. That's one of the first snowboards I ever built by hand, working for Pryor. That was a rad time. Rest in peace. So yeah, we got some surfboards going up too. Super cool. Good times, good times. I'm all distracted now. So let's go around to the front end of the El-Camino, El-cuda build, and I'll fill you in on what I'm thinking about doing here. Alright, so we have the CUDA front end, Charger rear quarter panels. If you stand right here, are you seeing what I'm seeing? And are you thinking what I'm thinking? Thinking about taking this line right down the middle, cutting the whole front end in half, spreading it apart, and bringing it out about 3 to 4 inches to match the wide body in the rear. So overall, the El-cuda will have like a really pre-runner vibe going on with it, where it's really wide body and just stands out. This being a fiberglass front clip, I could always re-fiberglass this section, but I think what I'm gonna do is just cut down the center, make like a 10-inch plate, and rivet it down the center on both sides. We can always finish it better later on, but at this point, I'm thinking about just wide bodying it to match the rear end, and then that'll create some like air ducting kind of really scoopy looking gaps in the car. I think it needs to happen, so leave a comment below. Let me know what you guys and girls think I should do with the front end. All right, let's go around to the back end here, and it's gonna be pretty basic in the rear end of the El-cuda, so let's just go over that and see what we're gonna end up doing to the back end. Looking back here, we got about 1/8 checkered plate welded in there, probably back in the 80s. The outside areas are rusty, but I'm just gonna make some strips 4 inches high, cut out the old rust, and weld in a strip all the way around, and then finish in the truck bed, probably with just some heavy duty Line-X or like Dominator spray, something really thick and durable. From the rear of the car, you can just see how wide the car is gonna be with the Charger quarter panels. It's gonna have these really big hips on it. I got a new tailgate for the back end of the El-Camino, so I'm gonna put that on, but I'm gonna graft in maybe like a Roadrunner tail light or some Charger rear tail lights in it. But I was also thinking about maybe putting a Superbird wing on it, a wide body Superbird wing. So that's another thing I was thinking. Comment below if you think I should put a Superbird wing on the back end of the El-cuda, but maybe we'll only make it like a foot shorter than the actual Superbird wing. I think that would look kind of cool. Like this is like gonna be like a Hot Wheels style build, so that would just give it that extra little bit of creativity. We're gonna leave the trailer hitch on. We're gonna make a custom rear bumper and a custom front bumper that's got that pre-runner look to it, that'll kind of taper in and have some skid plating on it. That's the rear end of the car. Once everything's finished underneath and painted black, the frame's all coated, it's gonna blend in really nice. I might cut the body back here and move it in, move the trailer hitch inbound, but once I build a bumper for it, I'll know if I have to do that or not. I think that's probably about all I'm gonna talk about in this video. It was a lot of talking. If you got any more questions, I'll make a video on whatever your questions are, and make sure to answer those questions. This build is turning out really, really cool. I'm digging the rims on the car. It's got the perfect stance. It's got the perfect look going on right now. It's exactly what I was envisioning. So with all that being said, that's going to be it for today's episode. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and we'll catch you guys and girls next time. Ciao, ciao.